Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my weekly makeup basket. Now I haven't filmed a makeup basket in about 2 weeks, I want to say. So I do have a lot of makeup to go through. I've been putting all of my makeup in this little basket here. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm actually wearing one of the products today. This is the Kat Von D liquid lipstick in the color Ludwig. I really do like the Kat Von D liquid lipsticks. And one thing I do notice is that in terms of dryness, I feel like it varies by color. So most of the nudes that I tried, I did pick up like her entire new release of her nudes. I want to say it was like 8 new shades or something like that. And all of the nudes that I've tried so far have been really nice. I do have like Bow and Arrow and Lovesick. Those are kind of more like nudish colors or neutral colors. And those seem to be not that drying as well. Now some of her darker colors that I've tried, I can't remember if it was Sinner or Saint that was a little bit, I think it's Sinner that was a little bit of a darker color. That one does seem to be a little bit more on the drying side. So just as far as I can tell, the darker the color, the more intense the color, it seems to be a little bit more on the drying side. But I don't mind it. They wear for a really long time. I can eat and drink with these and I don't really have to retouch. If it's a darker color, I do have to retouch after I eat something greasy, but for the most part they last for a relatively long time. Let's go ahead and talk about a couple of more lip products. This I'm actually going to be decluttering. This is from Hard Candy and it's the Velvet Mousse Matte Lip Color in the color Buttercup. I purchased this through Walmart because Hard Candy is like the Walmart brand and I hated this product. It's kind of moussey, so it's not extremely liquidy, but it doesn't really dry down completely matte and it's not completely transfer proof. So because of that, it kind of gets patchy. The product kind of comes off in weird places, so it looks very uneven. This color was really pretty. It's very similar to the color I'm wearing today, but it just didn't work out for me, so I'm going to be decluttering that from my collection. And then I have the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the color Frickin' Frack. I really like this one. It's a darker kind of like brownie nude. It has a little bit of a mauve undertone there, a little bit of purple in there, but I really enjoy the ColourPop lippy sticks. They're very inexpensive and they work like high-end lip liner, so I love using those. And then I have the matte cream sheen glass in the color Cha Cha Cha. This was from their summer collection, and these are pretty much the only lip glasses that I enjoy from MAC, because the traditional lip glasses, because this is a cream sheen one, are too sticky for me. This one is really nice and smooth, not super sticky. You would be able to get away with wearing this just on its own. Most of the time I do wear it just on its own, or I wear some type of like coral or peachy lip liner underneath it, like one from ColourPop. So I want to say those are all the lip products that I have, but there may be some hiding under there. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to single shadows. Some of the single shadows that I used this one from Dose of Color. This is their Ideal Duo in the color Magic Moment. It does have a cream base on the top part right there, and then there's a pigment underneath. I like these, but I don't really like the cream base as much. I still prefer my NYX Jumbo Pencil in the color White as a really nice base. So if you're talking about just the fact that this is a pigment, or for the most part I'm going to be using it as some type of pigment or glitter, these are very expensive. I want to say these are about $20-25 for a pigment. So I prefer the NYX pigments. I think those are beautiful pigments and they're very inexpensive. I buy them whenever they go on sale. I probably won't be purchasing any more of these Ideal Duos. I have 2 from the Mint collection and 1 from their standard collection, but after using them and using the bases, I think the bases are a little too emollient. They don't dry down completely, so they do tend to crease on me and transfer. Like I said, I prefer the NYX Jumbo Pencil as a much better base than this cream one. So another single eyeshadow that I have is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the color Blaze. This is a gorgeous metallic eyeshadow. I love the ColourPop eyeshadows. I think they're very creamy. They're very easy to use. I pretty much just use this and I pop it on my lid just using my finger. I don't even use a brush whenever I use these, but I only really like their metallics, their satins, their glitters because I don't like any of their mattes. I don't like using a brush with these, so I don't like using any matte for like my crease or anything like that. I only like using the metallic ones or something that I can pop really easily on my lid. So that's it in terms of single shadows. Let's talk about eyeshadow palettes. I use this Tarte Double Duty Beauty palette. This is in Don't Quit Your Daydream. I really do like this eyeshadow palette. It's a very nice neutral eyeshadow palette, but I feel like you can come up with a lot of looks just using this palette. Some of these shades are kind of like a satinish finish, so you can get away with using them both in the crease and all over the lid. I don't typically like to use like shimmery shadows in the crease. Like this one right here, Runway, for the most part I use this one in my crease, but it does have a little bit of a satin finish to it. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see it on camera, but there is a little bit of a sheen to that shadow. But again, for the most part, it does work really nicely in the crease, and it looks like a matte shadow when I put it on the crease, but then when I put it on my eyelid, it has a little bit of a shimmer to it. Another eyeshadow that I've really been enjoying, I'm actually wearing it on my eyes today, is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. The palette itself is absolutely gorgeous. I am wearing Pyramid on the inner part of my eye today, and then Throne kind of on the outer V. I'm wearing a little bit of Parallel and Lure kind of in my crease and to buff everything out. And I think those are all of the shadows that I wore today. I am wearing like a very bright and neon 80s outfit on Halloween, so I'm thinking about using this color Sphere. On camera it's not showing up as bright as it is on purple in person, but it is a very, very bright neon yellowish green color. Absolutely gorgeous, and I'm excited to play with this shadow. So I'm thinking about doing a Halloween look using that shadow. Another palette that I've really been enjoying is this Pure Soiree Diaries. This is one of the palettes that I got in my BoxyCharm, and I actually traveled with this. I don't think I can push this mirror back, but I actually traveled with this palette. And what I like about this is that, one, it was really travel friendly, and I could make a lot of looks with this. So it has kind of cool tone and warm tones, and all of the rows, you can kind of go up and down the rows and make a coordinated look with just the 3 shadows in that particular row. So I really liked that. I took this traveling over a weekend, and I was able to do 3 different toned looks with this, and I like the quality of it. I like the way the shadows blend, and the eye looks that I came up with were absolutely beautiful. This is actually what I took with me to PolishCon in Chicago. And then the last palette I want to talk about is the Violet Voss Pro palette. I picked this palette up, I want to say, about a month or 2 ago. So I decided to go ahead and splurge on this palette, but it is absolutely beautiful. I'm sure you guys have seen this palette, but I've used it several times already, and I have been able to come up with some really fun looks. I don't know if you guys can see, I've really been loving that Paula color. Absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I picked this palette up, and one of the nice things about this is that this palette is actually available, I want to say, either at Sephora or on Ulta now, so you don't have to order it directly through the Violet Voss website. So I have a few face products here. One of them I'm actually going to be decluttering. This is the Essence Light Up Your Face Luminizer palette. This just didn't work out. It's a very, very subtle highlighter palette, if I can get it open. It's a very, very subtle highlighting palette, and at first I thought I was really, really going to enjoy it, but because I have oily skin and my skin tends to eat powder products pretty quickly, most BAM in your face highlighters that I wear, by the end of the day, they end up becoming subtle highlighters. So if I end up wearing a subtle product on my face, it's just going to disappear within maybe an hour, if even. So this didn't last on my face. I did wear this maybe 3 or 4 times trying to give it, a fair try, and it just didn't last on my face that long. So I think I'm going to declutter it. It was was pretty inexpensive. So I'm actually going to try and run through these really quickly. The rest of the products in here are all like cheek products. So I have some highlighters and some blushes in here. The first one I'm going to talk about, I am going to declutter. This is the Bella Pierre Cosmetics mineral blush in the color Desert Rose. It was a gorgeous color. Again, it just didn't wear very long on my skin. So it was a pretty light blush to begin with, and it just kind of disappeared throughout the day. The next thing in here is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. I love this highlighter. This is what I wear when I just want to wear a little bit of mascara and a little bit of like bronzer in my crease. I'll just put this on and it gives me that fresh glowy look, but it's subtle, but it wears on my skin really nicely, and you can still see it on my skin even though it is quote unquote a subtle highlighter. It still wears nicely for me throughout the day. So I really enjoyed this one. What I'm wearing on my cheeks today is the Essence Bronze Goddess highlighter. This is in the color Heat Wave. I love this highlighter. This is such a bam, intense, in your face highlighter. So I would definitely have isn't that gorgeous? I would definitely have a very light hand with this because I put a little too much on the other day because I had been wearing a lot of subtle highlighter. So I went in like a crazy woman, and it looked awesome, but at the same time I was like, whoa, but it was a little too bam in your face for the school day. So the next highlighter I have here is the Becca Rose Quartz Flashes Seashell. This is one of the light chasing highlighters. Gorgeous highlighter. It is a little bit more of like a peachy pink highlighter. Definitely not as soft as the traditional Becca highlighters, but I still really like this one. Gorgeous like peachy pink flash to it. Then I have a highlighter that I got in my BoxyCharm. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, the press version in the color Prosecco Pop, and I really like this one. I actually have this in the Jaclyn Hill palette already, but I like that I have a single of it. In my opinion, it's definitely more subtle than the Estee Lauder Heat Wave one. The Heat Wave one feels a lot more like metallic in my opinion, but I still like the Prosecco Pop one. Another highlighter I have here is from Tarte, and this is in Expose. This is the highlighter in Expose. It's a little mini that I got as part of a set, but it is a little bit light for me. So this is a highlighter that I like to wear just on the top of my cheekbones if I want to kind of make my highlighter pop just a little bit more. Another highlighter that I like to wear just on the top of my cheekbones is this. This is from Hourglass, the Ambient Strobe Lighting Powder in the color Incandescent Strobe Light. This is a very gorgeous highlight, but it is a little light for me, so I do, isn't that gorgeous? But I do have to wear it just on the top of my cheekbones because as you can see, it is a little bit too light just to wear as a standalone highlight for me. Alrighty, and the last things I have in here are blushes. What I'm wearing today is the Happy Booster. This is from Physicians Formula. This is in the color Natural. I love this blush. I absolutely love this blush. I can pair it with anything. I hate the packaging. I can pair it with anything. Like I said, it is what I'm wearing on my cheeks today, and it gives me this just very nice natural flush of color, especially if I'm wearing like a crazier eye look. I have the NYX Ombre Blush. This is in the color Mauve Me. Absolutely gorgeous blush. I do like to wear this kind of swirled together. I've been enjoying this a lot recently because the weather is getting a lot colder. I like wearing these plummy colors in the fall time, and this is another fall time blush I love wearing. This is the Ambient Lighting Blush in the color Mood Exposure. So as you can tell, I've started to pull out a lot more of my like plummy mauve-y blushes. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, but not as much in comparison to some of the other like Hourglass blushes that I've tried. So that's Mood Exposure right there. I also have the Ambient Strobe Lighting Blush Palette, and this has the colors Incandescent Electra, Brilliant Nude, and Euphoric Fusion. I want to say this was last year's holiday palette. It may still be available on the Sephora website, but these definitely have a lot more shimmer to them. So that being said, if you don't like shimmery blushes, then you're really not going to like these, but I still really enjoy them. I just know that they are a little bit more on the shimmery side, so if I want to kind of dress myself up a little bit more, or I know I'm going to be going out to dinner, that's typically when I would wear a blush like that. Another blush I have is the Clinique Cheek Pop in the color Fig Pop. These are one of my all-time favorite blushes. These last on my skin forever. I love the formula of these. They build up really nicely. This is one of the darker colors, so again, I am pulling out a lot of those like winter and fall colors. The last thing I have in here is from Milani, and this is their baked powder blush in the color 13 Rosa Romantica. However, this is not a blush. This is definitely a highlighter for me. It's this gorgeous peachy pink highlight. I don't know if you guys can see it right there. It is so beautiful. I love wearing this highlighter. You could wear it, I guess, as a blush topper if you have a lighter skin tone, but on my skin tone, I would say I'm a light medium skin tone. I would definitely call this a highlighter. It is stunning. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I think it would look really nice on you as a highlighter if you have medium skin tone or maybe even deeper. It is so beautiful. I love it. Alrighty, so that's it. Those are all of the makeup products that I've used for the past 2 weeks, maybe even longer. So I'm going to try not to wait that long next time I film a makeup basket, because I don't want these videos to get too long. But please give this video a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below in the comment section if there's any makeup products that you've been testing out recently that you've really been enjoying. I'd love to hear your thoughts on new makeup products or even old makeup products. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I currently post 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then every Sunday or every other Sunday I like to do a weekly makeup basket. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.